Hi friends, welcome to my very first YouTube video. Some of you may know that I post content on TikTok and Instagram. I do a lot of daily vlogs on TikTok, and so I just realized that I wanted to dabble in some long form content that, go beyond the 15-second videos I typically post. I really wanted as my first video to kind of be like a travel vlog from when I went to Hawaii. But then I realized my commentary is absolutely trash because I didn't take many, if not any, clips where I'm literally talking to the camera. So I have my iPad here with all the clips from Hawaii. So I'm just gonna go through them to make sure talk about everything that's kind of in sync. Anyways, the first couple clips that you're about to see are my family and I were on our way to Pearson. We're taking a direct Air Canada flight. So we got there in the evening, and then we had a shuttle to take us to the hotel. We stayed at the Sheraton Waikiki. It was beautiful. People there were so kind and so friendly. If I ever go back to Honolulu, I would definitely stay there again. It was a great experience. So that's the clip I'm gonna cut to now. So yeah, we got to the hotel and there wasn't really anything to see because it was so late in the evening. I think we got there around like 10:30 p.m. You can open like the patio door and look out on the balcony, and we had an ocean view, so we can kind of like hear the waves, but you can't really see anything because it's like pitch black outside. The next morning I basically had like a full itinerary planned out. I actually had this entire trip, all of the planning drafted out on like a Google sheet where I sent it to my parents. I felt like such a productive girly, very type A of me. Basically the first official day in Hawaii, I did my shakeout run in the morning. I really needed to get in about 2 miles just to kind of get the blood flowing after being on a plane for 10 hours the day before. Afterwards, freshen up, get brunch with my family, walk around before we actually made our way to the Marathon Expo. I feel like this happens with every Marathon Expo you go to, but it's just like everyone there is so excited to be there because everyone is so excited to run this race essentially. And so everyone's really positive and really happy, and I'm always really so thankful that I get this opportunity. So we enjoyed our time at the Marathon Expo, but obviously there's still like a whole other day to do things before the marathon the next day, so I decided to fill it with some more educational and more historical and cultural things to do. We decided to go to the USS Bowfin Submarine Museum because my dad was really interested in being able to walk and see inside of a submarine, so that was really cool. And then my mom, like everywhere we go, whenever we travel, my mom loves to learn about the place and the history and the culture, and she doesn't know much about Hawaii. So we went to the Bishop Museum, and that was a really great experience because there were so many things about Hawaii that I have never known about, and I got to really understand the history from like the very beginning to where Hawaii is today. And we are at breakfast. Oh, you're... Okay, so day of the marathon. woke up at 3:30 in the morning. Obviously, I don't know if it's just me, but every time that like I need to wake up early for something, that night I'll dream about missing the event or waking up late. Like surprisingly, I wasn't even tired at 3:30, which is kind of wild, but I think jet lag has a play on that because typically I'm in Toronto, so this is 5 hours behind. So, you know, if 3:30 a.m., that was probably like 8:30 in the morning in Toronto. You know, had my RX bar, made my way to the start, and then saw 5 a.m. fireworks. Amazing. I've never seen fireworks this early in my life. Once 5 a.m. hits, the fireworks start, and that's when you start making your way across the start line. I think I got like a little choked up there. Like I thought I was going to start crying. So anyways, cut to those clips. We are to the marathon. Right, Mom? Yeah. Okay, exciting. But yeah, we were running for a bit, and then there's this one part you'll see in the vlog. As soon as I brought my arm up to get the clip, it like cramped up so hard that literally my arm was like, oh no, like I was game over. So I put my phone away and I was like, okay, we have maybe 2 more hours of this race. I cannot film anymore. So post-marathon, we are making our way back to hotel, showered and freshened up because we had a beach day in Waikiki. It was absolutely beautiful. Started to soak in the water because the day before, the Uber driver that we had, she was such a lovely lady. She told me that she ran the marathon a couple years ago. Her best advice was that post-marathon to soak in the ocean because the salt water really helps with the lactic acid. I'm not sure like the science behind it, but I will say this really helped. So we had our beach day, and then I freshened up again. I booked a really nice Italian restaurant called Orchids at a hotel really close to ours. So the next day was basically post-marathon. I woke up and I was really shocked to find that I actually felt okay. Like, this is my 4th marathon that I've completed, and typically after a marathon I feel terrible, but this marathon, shockingly, only my toenails were kind of messed up. That's a story for another day, but overall I felt pretty good the next day. And now looking back, like my best friend Steph, she told me that this is probably because, you know, the more marathons you do and the stronger you get, the better your body is at recovery. But yeah, I felt great the next day. We made our way over to the Honolulu airport where we were taking a Hawaiian Airlines flight to Maui for the next part of our trip.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We welcome on board. However, Bluetooth.
So our first day in Maui, woke up and I had basically told my parents, I was like, okay, on our itinerary, we need to wake up early because we were doing the road to Hana and I'm driving. And as a driver, I like to think that I'm a very safe driver. So I was like, there is no rushing. I want to make sure we have time to get everything, do everything, see everything. So that's what we did. For context, I did do some research in advance to kind of know, which other stops are like worth seeing. It also recommended this app called the Shaka Guide. I pay like 20 bucks for this driving app. As I'm driving on road to Hana, it's a pretty straightforward drive because it's one road, but obviously it's very windy and there's a lot of
few moments later.
hairpin turns. I don't know why that took me so long to say that. There's a lot of roads where, the lanes are very narrow. Driving the road to Hana is pretty hectic, but it was really enjoyable because we had the Shaka Guide and it kind of told us where to stop. It was like a full day. We got back to the hotel or resort around like 7 p.m. and slept early because my dad and I have another early day the next day. My gosh. So like I said before, we do have an early day because my dad and I were going to go scuba diving. We left at 5:30 in the morning, so everything was still dark. I was still kind of like tired, but excited for scuba diving. So I've been licensed as a scuba diver since I want to say 2019, certified in PADI in the open water diving. We were gonna do a 2-tank Molokini dive. We're gonna go see the Molokini crater, which is really cool, and you can actually see it on maps and when you fly in to Maui. So when we got there, everything was still dark, but the benefit of getting anywhere early is that you can slowly watch the sunrise happen. So after the boat day, it was great. Scuba diving was amazing. The company we went with was Maui Diamond Sea Sports. They were amazing. Like, hands down, this was probably the best diving experience I've ever had. They were so professional. They were so nice. And one of the things that really matters to me with diving is when people are knowledgeable and they prioritize safety. And it was just a very enjoyable experience. Awesome dive master, and everybody was just really kind, and my dad was just like living his best life. My dad has had his diving certification since he was 20, and he loves to rub that on my face. I got it before you did. He enjoyed that dive so much, and he said that professionalism that he saw with this dive company definitely surpasses a lot of the other dive trips that he's done in his past life. So this trip was a really big highlight for us. And then we chilled for the rest of the day, and then the next day we were going to go to the Haleakala summit, which is like you drive up there and then you can reach 10,000 feet above sea level. So that was really awesome. I felt like I was on another planet, perhaps Mars. You're literally driving through the clouds. our last sort of day in Maui, made our way to the Maui Ocean Center. My whole thing with this was that I was like, oh mom, like, you know, you can't go diving with us, or like you wouldn't ever want to go diving with us, but you can still see all the really cool fish. So we went there, and this aquarium blew my mind. So well thought out, like I learned so much. I was reading all of the plaques. They had such a large selection of like different aquatic animals, aquatic like fish to look at, and it just blew my mind. Like I've been to the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, I've been to the Ripley's Aquarium in Toronto, and Washington DC, one of the Smithsonian ones. I don't think any of them were as memorable as the Maui Ocean Center. I just enjoyed it so much. And I think I even enjoyed it even more because I had gone diving 2 days prior. So some of the things I saw while I was diving, I actually saw it when I was at the Maui Ocean Center. And I think that for me was like, whoa, blowing my mind. I was like, Mom, look, we saw this a couple of days ago. Dad, look, we saw that a couple days ago. Like it was just so sick. Like I just loved it.
Fish are so cool.
Backflip.
So cute. Oh my god. So we did that, and we still had time to kill before we needed to go to the airport. So I was like, okay, let's go shopping. So I'm so thankful that you spent the time to watch this video. I had a lot of fun making it and kind of recapping my trip. But yeah, thanks again. And you know, I hope you guys all have a wonderful start to your year.